electrician Ryan Laws is preparing to head back on site.
I'm an electrical apprentice. I'm about to be into my 4th year, and I work mainly in commercial construction. It's a great industry, it's a great trade.
He's been out of work since construction in Melbourne came to a grinding halt 2 weeks ago after violent protests paralysed Melbourne.
What we saw the other day was reprehensible. So we're acting, can I say, decisively and without hesitation on the back of the Chief Health Officer's orders.
The CFMEU has been at the centre of the unrest over the government's announcement of mandatory vaccination for the industry. Protesters descended on the union's state headquarters, accusing the leadership of not representing their interests.
The protests last week, on Monday, the sort of riot at the union office, it was pretty shocking, I thought it was pretty disgraceful, to be honest. I think everybody should get vaccinated, and I think that the mandates are, an important part of that.
Labour law professor Anthony Forsyth says unions like the CFMEU were a prime target for infiltration by anti-lockdown forces.
When you get some disaffected working people concerned about COVID regulations and lockdowns and vaccination mandates, unions are an obvious group for those more malignant forces to target.
So you want us to shut the whole building industry down?
Victorian CFMEU leader John Setka called for calm but was met by violent resistance and was the target of abuse from demonstrators. The CFMEU continues to claim that the rallies were hijacked by what Mr Setka calls professional protesters. However, Mr Setka refused 730's multiple requests for an interview and did not wish to comment for this story. The construction ban ends tomorrow. When workers return to their jobs, they must all show proof of at least one vaccination. Up to 5 workers will be allowed on small sites. Larger sites can have up to 25% of staff, with caps set to increase in line with vaccination rates. Some in the industry have felt the government has been too heavy-handed.
Yeah, look, it's cost us, to be honest, millions of dollars in lost revenue. We're very frustrated and disappointed that there has been a blanket rule put in place for the entire construction industry.
Residential builder John Gorris feels that he's been punished for the actions of a few.
How's your site out here been affected by the 2-week shutdown?
Yeah, look, we've had to shut down our site here and all of our sites. As you can see, we're in a greenfield site here, over 50 k's from the city. There's no residents nearby and there's no chance for close contact. I believe and we believe that we can operate in a safe way. We don't feel like any of our staff or any of our trades that I'm aware of have attended any of those protests. And look, going on from there, it looks like those projects have been hijacked by other members of the public that have a different agenda and have nothing to do with the construction industry in general.
Over the weekend, the Victorian government announced a support package of $196 million in grants for eligible construction businesses.
Building construction is the largest full-time employer in Victoria. We employ over 320,000 Victorians, both directly and indirectly, and we account for over 46% of our state's tax revenue.
While the Master Builders Association supports the vaccine mandate, others in the industry say it may be challenging to enforce.
Without mandatory vaccinations, it would have been extremely challenging for employers to get their employees back to work and for our industry to fully reopen.
How will the vaccine mandate be enforced, from a practicality point of view, day to day on site?
Look, it will be difficult, and obviously the government's left it for the individual businesses to enforce this. That's obviously something we'll have to do and something we'll have to check. In terms of our staff, everyone's happy to get vaccinated. The main issue has been being able to get a booking for vaccination. I'm yet to find any of our staff or anyone out on our sites that doesn't want to get vaccinated.
Even the Fair Work Commission is split on the COVID vaccine mandate, with a recent dissenting decision on the flu vaccine placing a legal question mark over mandatory jab policies. Unions will also need to decide if they'll support members disciplined or dismissed for refusing to roll up their sleeves. Meanwhile, the government has announced all authorised workers in Victoria will now need to get their first vaccine by October 15th.
The next 6 to 12 months are going to be a massive test for unions in how they manage the range of different views among their membership about COVID vaccines. There are going to be a multitude of cases and a lot of lawyers are going to make a lot of money out of this.
Electrician Ryan, who's a member of the Electrical Trades Union, is calling for better public health campaigns to educate people about vaccinations, and in the meantime is taking matters into his own hands.
I have had conversations with people who disagree with this, and they see it as being a matter of their personal freedom as an individual, but I see it really as being a matter of everyone else's freedom.